Welcome to the Mesonet Weather Report. I'm Wes Lee. Many of the state's wheat producers would love some favorable weather to get the crop out of the field. The rain has been nice for our summer crops and forages, but wet conditions continue to hinder winter crop harvesting. The 7-day rainfall map from midweek shows some impressive numbers. 2-inch rains were common in about half of the state, and 3 to 6-inch numbers were seen across the southeast. To get wheat moisture down to an acceptable range requires some good drying conditions. Our soil surfaces are currently wet in much of the state. This 2-inch fractional water map shows soils are as wet or nearly as wet as the sensors can read in most areas. Focusing on our Medford site, you can see the surface soil has been moist since the middle of May. Sunshine has also been lacking in that area lately, as seen on this graph. The line has been below normal for most of the last week. As expected, this means that humidity levels have also been high. This graph shows maximum levels have reached into the high 90s every day since mid-May. High humidity hints that leaf wetness or dew is likely on those days. Now here's Gary with this week's drought map.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, it's certainly been a bumpy ride over the last couple of months. We've had at least 100 tornadoes, a slew of large hail, lots of flash flooding, and of course, lots of rain in really just the wrong spots over and over. So let's take a look at that newest drought monitor map and see what we have. Unfortunately, although we did whittle away at some of that severe drought, we still have quite a bit of drought up in far northwest Oklahoma out into the western Oklahoma panhandle. We did get some good rains up there. We just need a bit more in places to really start to whittle away a little bit more of this drought up in that area of the state. But as far as the rest of the state goes, really in good shape. Now I know that we've missed some rains, and we take a look at that 60-day rainfall map from the Oklahoma Mesonet. You know, it really get a good 10 to 15 inches, close to 20 inches and more down across parts of east central down into southeastern Oklahoma. But really up there in the panhandle, we have less than 4 inches of rain. Up in the far northwest, some areas less than 4 to 5 inches of rain. So you take a look at that percent of normal rainfall map for the last 60 days, that same time frame, and it really does start to show up. But also the large amount of rain that we've had down in south central Oklahoma and parts of north central Oklahoma. So really a typical spring rainy pattern here in the state of Oklahoma. Just where have those storms gone over the same area again and again. So, but we have the same thing out in the panhandle where storms have missed again and again, and also parts of central Oklahoma. So just sort of a topsy-turvy spring. And when we start to look at the climate in general, we do look at the temperature as well. How does that impact the drought? And if we look back at the spring season, this climatological spring, so March through May, we did have average high temperatures in the mid-70s over much of the state. And we look at that as the departure from average, the long-term average from the Mesonet, and a good 2 to 3 to 4 degrees above normal across the state. And it was the 5th warmest spring on record, dating back to 1895 for the state of Oklahoma. So a very warm spring indeed. So we've gotten a good dent in that developing drought up in far northwest Oklahoma. We just need a bit more rain up there. And as we start to get into the summer months, we're going to need continued rains over other parts of the state. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.